Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the
Gossip Closet.
I'm Bibi, and I'm here with
Vito.
And we're back with the second episode called
Music Roulette. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at 5 of our favorite artists and 3 of their songs and diving into why we like it, what the meaning is behind it, and overall why we just think it's a really good song. And so we have 15 songs here today from 5 amazing artists. Want to name them off, Vivi?
Yeah, so we got Melody Martinez, we got Marina, we got Billie Eyelashes, Chaperone, and Penelope Scott.
Sorry, y'all. On our little notepad, we forgot to put some of the last names. So it'd be Marina Diamandis, or her formerly known stage name, Marina and the Diamonds, and Penelope Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess, do you think we should just get right into it, Vivi?
I think we should just hop right into it.
Okay, our first song is Purge the Poison.
Okay, awesome. So for context, it's called Roulette just because we do have, Vito has his
phone set up, and I am on Spotify right now, and I do have the 15 songs we picked out put into the playlist, and we did click shuffle, so it is somewhat of a roulette. So we might do 2 of the same artist songs in a row. We might get all 3 right off the bat, but honestly, we don't know. It's rough. It's on shuffle. I haven't looked at it yet. And so, for starters, we have Purge the Poison, and this is by Marina, and it is off her 5th studio album, Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land. So, Vivi, any starting thoughts with this song?
Not necessarily. How about you start this song off?
I start the song off?
Yeah.
Okay, Purge the Poison, it is an amazing song. It touches on a lot of topics, and honestly, the overall theme of the song is feminism seen in the eyes from Mother Nature. A lot of the song's chorus and verses talk about Mother Nature saying that we need to purge the poison in our society, which is essentially the toxic masculinity. Do you agree, Vivi?
I agree. I agree.
And I think it's the main line. It's within the first verse. It's stated, Mother Nature's on the phone. What have you been doing? Don't forget I am your home. Virus come, fires burn, until human beings learn. From every disaster, you are not my master. And that whole line, I think, just sets up the whole premise of the entire song. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the lyrics just because. Okay, as you guys know, I struggle a little bit, and so I have to look at the lyrics. I can't just speak off. I'm gonna have to look at all the lyrics and read them.
And for reference, we can't play the songs due to some copyright reasons at the current moment.
Yeah.
We
don't want to get fired.
That, and there's 15 songs, and we figured it'd just be easier if we didn't play and try to get the copyrights and for all of it, because that's 15 copyrights we'd have to pay now, because we can't just say one for the collective songs. So it's all off of different albums and all different music and stuff. It'd just be easier just to not play it. So sorry, y'all, if you needed the visual references. We will possibly just put the links or just the song titles so you can search them up if you want to.
Yeah, of course. And then, yeah.
But to continue off the song, Purge the Poison is an amazing song talking about feminists. The bridge has a perfect view encapsulating the whole song, I think. Do you want to say it off, Evie?
Where does it start off?
I just want a world where I can see the feminine.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
It's literally title bridge.
Okay. I'm going to beat someone up today. I'm just kidding. No violence. I don't condone violence.
I do.
Unless it's for certain reasons. No, I'm just kidding.
Unless it's against Baby, then I condone it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not okay. Okay, guys. So I need help. I need you guys to come get me.
You're acting like you wouldn't condone violence against me.
I'm actually trapped in a cell right now. I'm kidnapped. Please,
don't say that on air.
Oh wait, I'm just joking.
You forgot we're on air.
My bad, guys. I'm just kidding. Okay. It goes, I just want a world where I can see the feminine. We only make up 1/4 of the government. Like an angel gone to hell, cast the moon under our spell, owning female power, taking back what's ours.
And I really like that line because mainly the owning female power, taking back what's ours, is mainly because the world itself in many mythologies, it is called Gaia, which is the name of Earth, Mother Nature. And so I think it takes it back to the fact that, like, the female power is they're just taking back what was once theirs that had been taken over by this masculinity that has began to corrupt Earth and America as we know it. And as we can see right now in our current election status, and even more so our past elections, anytime that there was a woman front runner for the presidential election, the male opponent had created scandals and such, or even try to put him down by saying that, like, oh, it's a woman, she's not going to be able to talk it out with world leaders, they're going to lead us right into World War III or World War II, depending on which time period we're talking about. And so I really like it. And I also wanted Vivi to read that because obviously me being a guy, I don't want to say that song, and when I do sing the lyrics, I do change the songs to I just want a world where I can see the feminine. They only make up 1/4 of the government, like an angel gone to hell, cast the moon under our spell, owning female power, giving back what's theirs. Because I am not a female, I am not a girl, and I don't think that it would be right of me to say those lines.
Yeah, I can totally see why you would think that. And I don't know why you changed the lyrics. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, for sure. And also, like, another thing, I don't know if I'm gonna explain this well because I can't ever explain it as well. But it's like the thing too, where I've had many conversations with certain people about kind of like females and like, you know, what they kind of do in society and also how much power they hold. And it's like I've had really bad conversations, and I've also had really great conversations with people about it. And some of the bad conversations with people, shocking, it's with guys, but anyways, it usually goes to like shit, and it's like, oh, I know, like, definitely one of the conversations I've had with someone is like with female power, that people like that they have too much of it, or like that females have too much power, when I don't think that it's necessarily true. It's just that you see like females putting themselves out there all the time because they're always getting things like, you know, taken from them, or there's things that are restricted, or there's opinions, and I feel like that's when it comes. It's not necessarily of like, oh, like females have more power, but it's just more of like they're being restricted about so many things, or they have so many things that like are being taken away from them or taken away from them, and then they're not able to necessarily like have that, so they always are constantly speaking about it. But it's not because they want to rise and be like super like and become freaking dictators, but it's just like they want what belongs to them, you know?
What they're owed and what essentially should be normal like human rights.
Yeah.
And I do want to say two things. One, I think a lot of women out there would want to live in the point of view of that man's point of view of the world, because I'm pretty sure a lot of women would want that quote-unquote power that he sees that the people have. And I do also want to put out there that I think my sociology teacher really phrased it well. I remember that she said that on a spectrum of sexism, female sexism is a much more troubling thing because they face so many problems in the world compared to male sexism. That is not to say that male sexism does not exist, but on a scale, the problems outweigh on the female side due to how expansive it is. But on a gender norm society scale, men face more problems because there's more expected of them to do, and there's a societal norm of how they are expected to be, such as a guy is expected to be strong, have muscle, be emotionless, essentially be the breadwinner, be manly, like man things and stuff. And there's just a lot of societal norms, and that's once again not to say that there aren't societal norms that women are faced with, but there's less of a quote-unquote standard for them. Because if you were to ask them, there's less standards for a woman. And like this wasn't what I said, this was what my teacher's saying. But she said that there's less standards on a woman than on a guy. And she is a sociology teacher, so she does study people for a living. Now she did write a PhD, what is it called? Oh gosh, I can't think of it. A thesis statement on sexism in society. And so I do think she is a credible source for this current statement. So
our conversations are back and fact checked. No, I'm just kidding. But,
don't say they're just kidding, they are.
Oh, I mean, they are.
But I think we should move into our next song. Do you think so?
Yeah, I just one final note on that, and something I do want to say is that with a lot of people that I've also talked to, it's like, and I don't like that. I feel like it's sad how for guys also, and like just speaking since like he just touched on the topic of guys, but it's like there's these certain things that they like. For example, I really don't like the like, oh, like the boys, like guys don't cry, or guys can be strong, or they don't show feelings and all that. Because I think it's normal for everyone to show emotions and feelings until like, obviously, like to a certain extent, if you're like over here like punching walls and punching people because of your feelings, and that's not okay. But I think it like in a perfect world, I feel like everyone should be okay to be able to be who they are, and also be able to cry and feel emotions openly without having to hide it or being looked down upon, regardless of gender.
I agree, because we do have to think back that these are just normal human traits. It's biological for people to feel emotion. And it's sad that a lot of guys have the upbringing that they are taught that if you cry, you're essentially gay, or if you do these feminine things that aren't even very feminine, that they're gay. Like, I remember my teacher, she showed us this video. It is about gender toys and about how toys have quote unquote genders. And about like a girl that his daughter was looking for female superheroes or just a female heroine on like stuff. Like, he specifically referenced Princess Leia on Star Wars merch and Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy merch, and how their image was essentially erased from it. But his daughter wasn't looked down upon that, and it was just labeled a tomboy. Like, okay, she likes masculine things. But when a guy likes a feminine thing, and I'm not saying that this is a feminine thing at all, because I know that there's a whole fandom out there, subculture, but the fandom is My Little Ponies. And the second that a guy likes it, that, oh, he's gay and he should be beaten and bullied for this, to the point where the kid took his own life, and it's like, it's the, what was it called? It's just the double standards for each side. Is like, okay, one side is like, oh, they're a tomboy, they'll just grow out of it. It's just like a current phase. They'll eventually get into the things they like. And another that's like, oh, this is the worst horrible thing to ever happen in society and stuff. But we do have to go back to it is our nature to experience these emotions and feelings, and that we shouldn't try to suppress them, instead embrace them to an extent, like Phoebe said. But next song?
Yeah, our next song is Teen Idol by, drumroll please, Marina.
Once again, this was Roulette, so it just so happened that 2 of the 3 songs were next to each other. But Vivi, want to take Teen Idol? Want to tell us what the meaning is behind it?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here. Okay. I hate having to speak. Not that I hate having to speak, but
She's in a college class for public speaking, y'all. She'll get there eventually.
No, I'm not. I have not had.
You dropped out? No.
I had to drop out. No, I haven't had time to public speak in any of my classes, and I'm very happy about it, because I would actually be crapping myself in front of the whole class. That whole lecture car would be smelly. So no, I'm kidding. Okay. Okay. Sorry, got sidetracked there, but basically. Okay, how do I explain this? I guess in a way, Teen Idol is basically, I guess it's also kind of just in the title. It's like a teen idol. Like, when you idolize, it's like being, I hate having to eat.
Okay, how about I start you off so you can have something to build off of. Teen Idol is essentially about the American standard for what a teen should be like, or what the immediate influences to what an idol teen, a quote-unquote idol teen, should look like and be like. Like, an idol teen in the media is like someone who goes out, has a lot of friends, they go to all these school events, and they have a partner in school, and they have a good grades and stuff. And a Teen Idol, the song essentially touches on those topics about how Marina wishes she was the teen idol, that she wished she didn't waste away her teenage years doing these things. But in reality, you shouldn't feel bad for what you did and did not do. Because I can speak from experience that, compared to Vivi, I did not have an idol high school experience, an ideal high school experience. I mean, for starters, we did have our 9th grade year online, so that already cut our high school experience. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, for 9th grade, we were kind of just online 99% of the time, unless you did the hybrid because you were a weird kid. No, I'm just kidding. But if we were online, like, you kind of just, you lose contact with people, and kind of like what, like, the kind of like the idolized like teenage image of what is supposed to be happening. Like nobody's like sitting here being like, oh yeah, ninth grade year you're supposed to be at home in quarantine. Like that's not normal, you know. But hey, we lived through a pandemic and we're alive with issues, but we're alive.
A lot of issues, but teen idol is essentially saying it's just like wishing something that you had and wishing for something that was essentially a societal norm but not needed. Because honestly, I'm doing just fine right now, and I didn't have any an ideal teen experience. Sure, I went to homecomings and both my proms. I was forced to by my parents, but I still went, and yeah, I did have fun on those. But I did also not go to any of the pep rallies or any of the events that my school held outside of those, outside of homecoming and prom. I didn't go to any of these out of the events because I'm like, oh, I'm not interested in that. Friends, I had one friend throughout my whole high school experience. And then I lost that friend and got another one, but I didn't have all these friends. And I didn't have anybody, I wasn't dating anybody in high school. And so it's like, some might say like, oh, you failed at high school, you're going to regret that. So like, no, I have not regret a single thing. I wasn't in any clubs, extracurriculars. I mean, I did have a job at one point and I was in a single club that was short-lived because they essentially kind of bullied me out of it. But that's another topic for that.
Whoa, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, Chloe, hide it.
Oh. Emo. It's like, I'm sure.
But like, I was the kid that you would be scared to like mistreating in high school. I was essentially labeled a school shooter. I was not in any way. Never had I had a thought about doing it. But I was essentially that kid who wore.
That's not funny, but the way that you guys said, you're like, never have this cool.
Never had I thought about that or even planned none of that. Never was a thought that crossed my mind. I was just a sleep deprived kid in high school who always wore his hoodie and always had
a rope in the bag. I mean,
the what? No, who always had like an RBF or just a like I hate everybody face.
Oh, resting B face. I was like an RBF.
Yeah, and so honestly that was like a partial reason why not many people talk to me, and like even the teachers would question me about it. They would be like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay at home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm just tired right now."
They were telling security, "Keep an eye on this kid. We don't trust him. Code red."
No, and like honestly, for the longest time, like people just like didn't talk to me. It wasn't until my senior year, second semester, 1 month before school ended, that I actually started talking to people. So honestly, y'all don't try to idolize what the quote unquote teen experience is. Live it how you want to live it. Don't try to push yourself past the expectations of what you expect for yourself. If you want to stay inside and sleep, do it. If you want to go out and party and drink, I mean, I wouldn't encourage underage drinking, but if that's what you want to do, then do it. Do what's going to make what you deem in your life is going to achieve greatness. Vivi?
So I can't say the same. So no, I'm kidding. No, well,
that's okay if you can't say the same.
For me, I don't regret much. Like I was definitely more involved than Vita was, but I was the vice president for a club during my senior year, which I'm very happy for, and I'm glad I was able to do that. It was a great experience. I loved it. Shout out to HSA. But for those who don't know what that stands for, it's Hispanic Latino Student Alliance. But yeah, and I really like that, like being able to be part of something like that. And I think if I wouldn't have gotten myself involved in things like that, I would have definitely regretted it. I like that I was able to. I've always been a more shy person when it came to school. I never really talked to many people, so I never really made too many friends. And when I did, they would kind of I would not click in with them too well since they were always doing their own thing. So I would always be left alone in a teacher's classroom, which I don't mind. And then my senior year, I started talking a lot more to this one person. Hopefully they will be a guest later on in our podcast. But for now, their identity is anonymous. But for me, it was like definitely that, and I liked going to homecoming to a certain extent. I hate seeing people just jump up and down to music, and then when they put a good, yeah.
I went to homecoming, but I always sat with my friend on the outside, like we were never in the dance. And anytime they tried to pull me in, I was like, yeah, nah, because my school was always so strict. Like, I remember with this one homecoming, it sucked so bad that everybody just left like 2 hours before it was over. And everybody was just at the park.
They said we're gonna do our own party.
Yeah, it sucked. But continue, sorry.
No, you're good. And no, yeah. Then I went to homecoming, and it was alright. I mean, I liked it, but not really. I mean, they had snacks, but they were kind of doo-doo. And I was always just kind of in the outsides because I didn't want to be smushed in between jumping teenagers.
Smelly jumping teenagers.
Yeah, and whenever a good song would play, they would just change it. So I'd just be like, "What's the point of even coming?" I wasn't gonna go my senior year to homecoming. I only went to homecoming twice. I ended up going because one of the teachers paid for my ticket, and that was really sweet of them. And then I went to prom. I really liked prom. It was a really nice experience.
You only had one prom?
Yeah, I only went to one of the proms, and that was on purpose. I didn't want to attend prom my, junior year or any other year because, in my opinion, I think prom should just be for seniors. A homecoming can be for anyone, but I think prom should just be for seniors. And so I was just like, I don't want to go my junior year. I didn't want to go any other year whenever I was invited. So I'm like, I'm just going to go one time and spend my money that one time, make it a special one-time thing at the end of my year.
Quick story time. So I went to both my proms at my school. The first one, I loved that shit. It was down at our downtown convention center. It was so much fun. And then afterwards, our after party, our school paid for it. It was at Dave & Buster's, and it was really fun. Second year, it was at one of our stadiums where we're from. And that one, it was subpar. It was in like the club level, so it was like,
Subpar.
Yeah, subpar. It was pretty cramped, but for the most part, it was good. The after party was once again at Dave & Buster's, but some stupid, what's the term? Juniors thought, oh, let's buy alcohol at Dave & Buster's with these fake IDs, and so they did. And because Dave & Buster's is no low-class establishment, they got those ID checkers that you just swipe it and it says valid or invalid. And it popped up as invalid, fake, and they're like, oh yeah, no. And so the whole organization, the whole establishment, they had all their security members go around. And there was like 2 other after proms going there too. And so they had a wristband system. There was the green, the orange, and the blue. They went around and got every single kid with an orange wristband and kicked them out. It was horrible. And the worst part was it wasn't even 12 o'clock yet. It was only 11. We didn't even get to party until 12. And so that was the worst. I mean, I guess I was comparing to that was horrible because I'm like, how stupid do you have to be to take a fake ID and try to buy alcohol at a big establishment that can obviously afford good card swipes? If you want to buy alcohol, go to the corner store, liquor store, or go to an low run-down establishment that ain't got those. They don't care. But obviously a big establishment is going to have the ones where they don't have to check the date. They just have to swipe it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pissed about that. But I still got my game card, and I did use it last week, so it was really fun.
That's awesome.
But that's...
Well, it's not awesome about what happened, but yeah. And just real quick to just wrap up oh my god, I cannot speak. What's it called? Wrap up the thing is that as Vito said, I definitely agree. You should, and this is to whoever's listening, and tell this to whoever isn't listening, but just whoever you really care about, and genuinely don't try to fit in yourself a little box and try to mold yourself into don't be a little Play-Doh and mold yourself into a little thing or cookie cutter. No, be your own person. Be a blob, be a triangle, be an oval, be whatever you want to be. Genuinely enjoy yourself. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy enjoy your youth to the fullest of your capabilities, regardless of what other people are thinking about you. Right now we're in college, and yeah, sure, we're still pretty young, but genuinely enjoy your time 100% and as much as you can, and even when you're older,
enjoy what you deem as enjoyable. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're not. Like Vivi said, she didn't want to go to her junior prom because she wasn't going to find it enjoyable, so she didn't go. And she's okay with that. So don't try to put yourself into a situation where you're not going to be having fun or it's not going to be enjoyable. Do what you think is going to be enjoyable. And if that doesn't mean going to certain events, then don't do it. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're not going to have fun. But I definitely would say also, like, try to push yourself a little outside comfort. Don't try to do something extreme, like go skydiving or something like.
Well, you could.
Okay, well you could, but that doesn't mean like you should if you're not very comfortable with it. But do try to push yourself a little outside of your comfort zone, because that's how you learn and experience new things. Like recently, Vivi and I went and did a creek cleanup. That was pushing my boundaries a little. I think Vivi was in her home scene scenario right there, but like for me, it was a little outside my boundaries. But our next song up is "Come Out and Play" by Billie Eilish. Vivi, do you want to go with this one? This was one of your song picks.
Yes, of course. I can definitely talk about this one a little more, just because. Okay, so this song is by Billie Eilish. Okay, but I don't think it's necessarily such a well-known song. It's definitely not as big as like other songs that she's had before.
Cough Cough Bad Guy.
I was about to say, or like Ocean Eyes. Ocean Eyes is still a good song, you know, but it's not. I don't think this one's just. I don't think it's that out there. And it's Come Out and Play, and it's basically, it's talking about kind of like creativity and being too afraid to share your creativity or share like kind of who you are and put yourself out there, and that fear of like, you know, like being able to express yourself, and hence like the name, like Come Out and Play, like get outside of your shell, do these things, and also like kind of like you as an artist or as like whatever you want to be, like sometimes you're kind of trapped in a little box and you might be thinking like, oh, like, hey, like I can make this, but I'm too scared to show the world, and sometimes you need a little push of someone else. And so kind of like the song starts and it goes like, it goes, wake up and smell the coffee, is your cup half full or empty? And this is kind of just like, this one's just talking about like, it's not, yeah, sure, you can take it as literally like talking about like coffee or things like that, but it's also talking about like like how much you're optimistic or like pessimistic, and that's why it's like, if you have a lot of like coffee, then you're typically you'd be more like energetic or things like that. If you don't, you're half.
I also like the analogy, the way that people phrase it, like, oh, is the cup half empty or is it half full? Because that really does show like the viewpoint. Because if you view it as half full, then that shows that you still think that there's more to gain in the situation, that there's always more to grow from. But if you view it as half empty, then you definitely think that it's taking away, it's going away sooner than you think. And so like that's why Vivi said optimistic, pessimistic view. And which is why the song also takes into the point of like, you need to be optimistic and you need to be able to be vulnerable with people. Like, yes, you might be shy, but you'll never know how much you'll succeed until you put it out there to let the world see and for the people to judge. And yes, people are going to be judged. They're going to be judgy. They're going to be critical of it. And sometimes that is good to have. It helps you know what you need to work on. Like somebody could be like, oh, this music video is trash. You'd be like, okay, well, maybe I could probably fix this. But if they need to be critical in a good sense, I should say. They need to be like, if they say oh, this music video is trash, then that's not very helpful, because now they're just being overly critical. Like, they're not saying specifically what you need to work on. Rather, they could say like, oh, the visuals are a little too hard to see, that it's not a very steady camera. Then you now know like, okay, maybe like a smoother camera movement and stuff. I think Just Come Out and Play is a really good song for beginning artists, similar to how Bailey was, because this was before her main studio album. Before, she had only recorded an EP, and these are just like tiny singles leading up to the release of Where Do We Go When We All Fall Asleep. And so it's a really good song. And as she was a beginning artist coming into fame, it's a good song to exemplify the works of how you have to work hard if you want to succeed as an artist. And similar to all these other artists, some of them, yes, are Nepo babies, but some of them did work hard. And I think the artists we are talking about today, they all worked hard in some way to get to the fame that they are.
Yeah.
Such as Melly Martinez, she was performing on streets to raise money to fund the Dollhouse EP.
She was in the streets.
Marina worked hard when she moved from Europe to America to make her music dreams come true, to express her upcomings Penelope Scott, she was a college student and she worked her way to, like, she hit it right off the bat with Rat, which will be a song later discussed sometime in the podcast. And Chaperone, I feel like, is a very important one because Chaperone has been trying to make music since 2022. And she had, she got signed to a record label even, but she was dropped from it because they weren't doing much. But look at her now. I mean, like, Rise and Fall of the Midwestern Princess came out in 2023. And sure, it didn't get its fame until this year, almost a year after, but it still happened. She still worked hard. She still was releasing music, trying her hardest. And she hit it. I'm not going to say she finally got it, because obviously Rise and Fall of the Midwestern Princess was good, but she made Good Luck Babe, and it blew up.
No, yeah, for sure. And I guess that kind of also leads into the next line, which is like I'm just going to go into the pre-chorus, but it's like, it goes, you see the piece of paper could be a little greater, and that's kind of what that thing is like. Oh, like there's some artists out there who kind of, and this is just, again, this song is for creativity in general, but since we're on the topic about artists, like there are some artists out there who kind of just, they take something and straight up copy it. Like they copy it, they don't do anything with it, there's just copy and paste. And the thing with like these artists, it's like, yeah, of course they took inspiration from it, but it's like they use that and expand on that and be like and make their like own thing and be able to grow from that. And that's why it's like a piece of paper, like you can make that and be like optimistic about it. Is like you could make that even bigger. Like you can take a piece of paper and you can make a heart out of it. You can make an airplane. You can make so many things. It doesn't just have to be a piece of paper, you know? And so it's things like that. And then it goes into the chorus saying, and I know it makes you nervous, but I promise you it's worth it to show them everything you kept inside. Don't hide. Like, don't hide. And so, and then it goes again saying, like, come out and play. And that's just kind of saying, like, hey, like it's obviously scary to put your creative ideas out there because once more it's like the criticism, or you're scared of having people be like, this thing's caca, like I don't wanna, this thing's dude, I don't wanna listen to this, or like, but then it's also like the parts like, oh, it's worth it, because you never know, like you could, if you're optimistic about it, you could get the best side of it, you could be in the middle. I mean, like you can just, yeah.
I know, I see what you're coming from, because like you could. I think the artists that we chose, they are great examples of this because, like you said, like you can get the best of it, like Billie Eilish and Chaperone, like they became very mainstream. I mean, there's people buying festival tickets just for Chaperone, which is actually really surprising. Or you can just get like mid-famous, like Penelope Scott. Like, she's famous, but she's not like mainstream famous. Or you can get like that mid-level of Marina and Melanie Martinez. Like, yeah, they're well known in the selling out stadiums, but they aren't collectively favored.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I totally see where you're coming from.
And also to the thing about your stating about like copying artists as our final statement for this song. Most people who come into this industry, like they have their dreams, but too much time in the industry can create a writing of obsession rather than writing with emotion. And I feel like unfortunately some artists do fall into that category, that like you can see them slowly descend into writing with obsession over emotion. Mm-hmm. But on that tone, let's move into a sadder tone topic with the song.
We're going down to the gutter, guys. We're going as sad as we can get. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, if we want to do that, we should play Pretty Isn't Pretty by Olivia Rodrigo. But essentially on the same line, we have Mrs. Potato Head by Melanie Martinez.
The one and only melatonin martini. Okay, but yeah, and you can go ahead and explain about.
Oh, I'm allowed to? No, she's holding up signs telling me what songs I can and can't do.
Yeah, I'm like over here, like I'm holding him hostage. I'm telling him that if he doesn't like do this, then he's not getting food. No food.
She doesn't know that I order Uber Eats to the window.
Okay,
anyways,
I'm boarding that window.
Mrs. Potato Head is off of Melanie Martinez's first studio album, Crybaby. It is the 11th track on the album. Great album, love it. Go listen to it. Show her some love. But Mrs. Potato Head is essentially talking about these societal, Sorry, y'all. It's about the societal norm about what beauty is to younger girls or just young people in general, and how they try to shape their minds into being like, oh yeah, this is the ideal face and body shape, and like if you don't have this, you're ugly. Like you only can achieve beauty and greatness if you have this body type. And so Mrs. Potato Head essentially talks on the topics that of plastic surgery and changing yourself, and how you'll change yourself for love, but eventually, even with plastic surgery, it'll eventually fade away. And I don't want to be like the bearer of like horribleness, but like a good example is Dolly Parton. She was an amazing, beautiful young person, but eventually the plastic surgery that she kept getting when she was older, and as with age, it's gonna show that it's just gonna get harder and harder to cover it up with plastic surgery. And so they do tend to like, it doesn't stay forever. Baby, do you want to add anything on that?
Okay, I know you guys can't see anything, and I know we're on a very sad topic right now, but
Baby currently she's fighting with the plug-in to charge.
yeah, I could not unplug something because one of our equipments is dying, and I couldn't unplug something else that was plugged into the wall, so I'm over here struggling for my dear life. Anyways, enough sidetracked. I did have to go get a charger for that, so I don't know how much you said exactly, but yeah, I find this song really sad just because of the lyrics. I know, like, it's just, I don't think that people should, there's all these ideas, and it's, like, not even just about, like, plastic surgery, but about, like, just, like, beauty standards in general as well. It's, like, oh, you
It's like, y'all making faces over here.
I know, he's distracting me.
Serious topic, and we're like laughing the most doing this one.
Oh my god, you're right. This is our way of coping, guys. This is going to turn.
Maybe we accidentally do relate with the song, and that's why we chose it.
No, I know we relate to this song. We're deep dives. I'm not just kidding.
Deep dive into our lore, y'all.
This is BB and Vito lore. That's the next episode. Just our lore.
BB and V lore.
Yeah, just our lore in the back. But yeah, and it's like. I know you guys should definitely go check out the music video for this. I don't know if Vito mentioned that, but I think that the music video really does, like, it shows a lot, and I think that it's like, oh, like, why are you going to kind of, and I think in a way it's like, why are you going to force yourself to be so pretty and try to fit yourself into, like, everyone's pretty, by the way. Everyone, you're beautiful the way you are. But anyways, but except Vito. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I can agree with that, y'all.
I'm just kidding. No, but it's like...
Body dysmorphia is a real issue in America, y'all. We should stop saying that, like, oh, you look fine, because that sometimes doesn't help people.
That's it. It's like, no, I'm kidding. And it's like, and like, oh crap, I lost my train of thought.
My bad, y'all. But it's essentially saying that no one should feel that way about themselves, that the fact that, to the point that they think that there's something wrong with them when there isn't. That is a normal body type. It is a normal thing for people to have, and to shame them for that is essentially just like saying like, oh, this is like this part of you that has been passed down from generations to generations is horrible, and that you are ugly for that.
God, I'm dying. And something I do think about this too, as I was saying, is that that it's like people work so hard to try to perfect themselves, or at least an idealized version of what they want to be, that it just ends up consuming them as a whole, and they make that like they make that kind of just like who they are and what they want to be, and it turns into a negative way. It's like some people, yeah, like it's like I want to better myself and I want to do these things, right? But the like, what am I trying to say? Like, the process behind it is not necessarily like the best. It's negative like mindset, and it's like it's okay to want to like improve yourself, but it's never okay to want to improve yourself because you're trying to fit in or be something that like that it's like kind of seemed as normal or whatever, because in the end, like for this song in specific too, it's like you're just gonna honestly like you're gonna fuck yourself up like mentally or physically or like
both.
Yeah, and it's like 2-in-1 combo, like the shampoos. I'm sorry.
Stop making that topic happy.
But it's like, yeah, and it's like...
It's just back to those lines. It's like, what's it called? Even if her face don't stay together. Oh wait, sorry, messed that y'all up. Do you swear you'll stay forever, even if her face don't stay together? It's just like saying, like, will you stay forever, even if her looks eventually go away, or are you only there for the looks? And I know that is a lot of reasons why a lot of women have body issues, purely because they view in the societal like world of men that a lot of, if you were to go to 5 cisgender straight men on the street, they would say that they look for a girl with a big ass or big tits, and a lot of women feel bad about themselves because of that. But I think that's a good way to round it off. Do you think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, y'all, our next song up is Birds of a Feather. Vivi, have anything to say about Birds of the Feather? Yeah. Are you parts of Birds of the Feather?
I think that Birds of a Feather, we should stick together. Honestly.
And that birds all have feathers.
I know I said I'd never think that I was better alone.
Oh crap, she's reading the lyrics. Y'all, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I was doing that on purpose because I was trying to confuse you. I was like, oh. And I realized you didn't catch on until like halfway through the whole song.
No, because that's a fucking quote. Like, Birds of Feather, we stick together. That's literally was in the real movie, y'all.
No.
How the hell was I supposed to catch on? That's literally a saying.
He catched on when I started reading the whole fucking sentence. He's like, huh? Anyways, but yeah, Birds of a Feather is basically just like, it's kind of Billie expressing her thought that like in enduring love and that it will stay together until the end of life. And I don't know if she necessarily meant it in a like romantic way, but I think you could take the song in both, like in any way, shape, or form, whether it's like romantic or friendship or family or just like a loved one in general. And it's just like you can have a powerful connection, and it can remain resilient throughout many different obstacles that you may come across.
Mm-hmm.
And like you have to be able to. This song kind of talks about that desire of wanting to be able to stick together and be side by side for forever, really, like for the rest of like each other's life. And I think that that's something really valuable and really interesting, because I feel like there are many people who aren't able to experience that, being able to have like someone they care about or a loved one like so like close to them and being able to be there forever. And even then, like friendships, like they come and go. Sadly, and I do think that there are like certain friendships that will stay forever, but it might not necessarily be like it might not necessarily be something that can make it through many challenges sometimes. But okay, but sorry, that was like a really that was a more lighter-hearted topic, I think.
A really lighter-hearted topic, and next time can you say me something to talk about, because you kind of covered all the topics.
Oh, my bad. I got involved talking about this one.
Yeah, I think she relates to it.
I think it relates to it.
I think you can tell about which topics we relate to more, depending on who talks about it more.
Yeah, and 99% of the time you're not gonna hear me talk. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
That's just because I suck at explaining stuff.
It's because she doesn't suck. She has really good thoughts. When she gets in a good moment or a good mood. Okay, not a good mood, but in a certain mood, she explains her words really well.
What you mean by that? Huh? You trying to fight right now? So, no.
She explains her words really well, but sometimes when she gets too passionate about a topic, her mind starts thinking of too many good thoughts, and they just start mumbling together, and she can't make a cohesive sentence. But that is not to say that you are slow, Vivi. You have very good thoughts.
Yes, my very slow, good thoughts. But do you wanna?
I feel like you covered Birds of the Feather really good. It's just saying that it's like the song says, Birds of the Feather, we should stick together until the grave.
Yeah.
It's just saying like, what's the action line? It's Birds of a Feather, we should stick together. I know I said I'd never think, I wish I wasn't alone. Can't change the weather, might not be forever, but it's forever, it's even better. And I think that just honestly, I mean, obviously the phrase is well, it's the part of the song, but it's just, the way you can interpret it is just like saying, people alike, they should stick together no matter. And I feel like this exactly comes back in play. Like, you find your group of people in high school or just in any schooling group that or in any any setting, you find the people who are like you, and you guys stick together. You guys most likely went through the same tribulations and trials, and that you'll eventually even forge a friendship that works.
Well, and hey, if you ever find that friend, keep them as long as you can. Don't force it, obviously, because
I mean, unless you want to, then
No.
get yourself a car and a van and some rope and a nice little deep well in the
free
basement.
Wi-Fi, because technology these days.
Oh yeah, free Wi-Fi, free Uber Eats. That's a good way to get you. That's how it got me.
Oh, that's crazy. You said no. But yeah, definitely always, like, if you ever find that person, love them wholeheartedly, and if it doesn't work out, like, that's perfectly fine. You'll find people who actually acknowledge you for, like, the great person you are, and you will find that, like, you will find that person in your life, like, whether it's, like, in any way, shape, or form, you will find them. And just make sure they treat you well, and once again, if it doesn't work out, then that's okay, because you'll find someone who actually deserves you and your time. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like this is a good segue into about not forcing it upon yourself, but rather not forcing relationships to happen just for the sake of it. And I feel like that's a good segue into our next song, Gross by Penelope Scott. Vivi, any starting comments about this?
I think you can take it from here.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all, I don't think Vivi knows it, this song. Nah, I'm just kidding. She knows it. I showed it to her.
He literally, we talked about the whole meaning of the song for, like, while we were eating pizza.
Yeah, we were hangry before that. Like, we were literally cussing slurs at each other because we were mad. And then we ate pizza, and then we were, like, fucking joking, like, the rest of the day.
We realized that.
That was the day we realized we were Big Macs.
Exactly. But continue.
We were eating in the parking lot, too. A whole pizza to ourselves. I ordered a salad, so they didn't think we were that big. I ordered a salad and ate that later, but...
Later. Keyword later. Not even in the moment. Okay, but continue. I'm kidding. Continue.
And Gross is essentially talking about having sex with somebody when you don't really...
Cover your ears, children.
Talking about having sex with somebody and then not liking it at first, but eventually catching feelings for them, but realizing the other person really isn't in it for a relationship aspect rather than just for the moment and just for the feeling of sex in the moment, and that they never actually want a long-term relationship. Boom. Which is essentially why it's talking about gross. Everything about it, then after you realize it, it just becomes gross to you because it's like, oh, I'm just essentially a toy for you to use for your own pleasure and then discarding me after you're done. And I fortunately do not have experience with this. Vivi, do you?
No, I do not have experience with this either, but if I did, I would be devastated and it would hurt my heart
too.
That I love someone so much and it only feels like they love me in bed and no other time, and that's the only time that you can get that.
Honestly, I agree because honestly, if somebody ever told me that, like, or not even told me, because I guess it doesn't happen, but if I ever realized that somebody was using me just for my body, I would honestly be, one a little flattered because I'm like, oh, I'm sexy enough for you? I was like, okay. But then the back thoughts in my mind would be like, wait, are they only using me because
I'm not worth anything? No,
yeah, I'm not worth anything, and they don't view me anything more as a toy and less of a person. And like, does that mean I have any personality? Am I just like, do I even look good? Are they just like sleeping with me because like I'm what they are obtaining? Am I able to get? Yeah. And so the song was just essentially talking about how everything just becomes gross after it. I think the best line to represent this is the bridge. And I'm just going to say the whole bridge right now. I hate it most when they're kind, when they had meaningful lives, and I'm the awful one standing next to them. It was an earnest suggestion, a real connection. Every part of me poses a threat to them. And if you're mean, then they'll laugh like they don't understand. If you got it, you would fucking go home. Well, say that you want me still. Say I'm just mentally ill or I'm just a bitch, but you'll never know. And I like...
Damn, sorry.
And I like that song, that I think the bridge... Any song with the bridge, it really encapsulates what the whole song is about, which is why we kept referencing the bridge a lot. But I think like this is the point of the song where like the person confronts the where the person, I don't want to say victim because they're not a victim because it was consensual, but like where the heartbroken one confronts the the person who sleeps around with a lot of people, and they're they confronting them about all these other people who they're sleeping with, saying like they had meaningful lives, but I'm just the awful one standing next to them because I'm the one who realizes it, and this person thinks of me as an ex, as a horrible person, and I'm exposing them for like their bad doings and such, and so like you essentially become the quote unquote gross one because that person tries to be like, after they see that you aren't giving up, they just put a label on your back like, oh yeah, she's obsessive, she's toxic, she's a horrible person. They sleep around with a lot of people. They don't have any self-respect. She's a hoe. And it's like they put that label on your back because they are essentially they don't want you around anymore. And so to all these new girlfriends and lovers, they're like, oh yeah, she's a hoe. And then it creates this stigma around you that like was never true to begin with, when the real hoe was the person who's sleeping around with all these women. But anything to say, Vivi?
No, I think that you really. sorry. Okay, I think that you said, yeah, that was very well spoken. I agree with all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And on that note, something.
On the note about sleeping with people, on a little lighthearted but even worse of a topic, about keeping it casual with somebody and the quote unquote casual thing somebody would do. If you haven't guessed, the song is Casual by Chapel Roan. Vivi, you want to start this one off?
Knee deep. Okay, look.
Yes, knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating them out like it was casual.
Now?
Yep.
Forever?
Never. It was never casual.
I see. Anyways, yeah, so basically, this song is about, like, casual.
It's about keeping things casual, y'all.
It's like keeping things casual, but at the same time, keeping not things so casual. And what I kind of mean by that is just like the song is like, oh god damn it, my thoughts, man. Okay, but it's like you do like all these things with a certain person, and they're like really intimate things, but it's like, oh, but it's not like you're not meant to catch feelings. It's just like a little, it's like just a little fling or something like that. But you, like how can you, like when you're doing all these things that, like in a way, kind of mean a lot. But yeah.
And the song that she also uses, the chorus, like we were just singing, like, knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out. Is it casual? Now asking a question. She's saying, that, is it casual now? Like, is this what was always going to happen? Was it casual? Is it casual? Saying it's like, were we ever in a relationship, or was this just casual things that friends do to one another? And I feel like a lot of...
I don't eat my friends out, guys. I'm just saying. I don't think that's casual. That'd be kind of weird.
When it comes into the place of, like, friends with benefits, never actually accepting the label of boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever relationship status it is. What we want to be... This is an inclusive space, y'all. We accept everyone and everyone. And so... essentially it's a lot about like, is it casual? It just becomes that friends with benefits scenario. It's like, oh, it's just casual between us. It means nothing. I haven't. You essentially just become like a side piece, but that other person, they don't know that they're a side piece. They think that this is the main relationship. And there's another line: dumb love, I love being stupid. Dream of us in a year, maybe we'd have an apartment, and you show me off to your friends at the pier. And I know, baby, no attachment. And that's essentially just going along the lines of, once again, just like the no friends with benefit. There's no attachment. There's no commitment. Because it's just casual. You're just keeping it for the moment. And it's just a casual thing that happens. It's just like a one night stand, but reoccurring. Anything to go along with that, BB?
No. Just very sad. And, I would never be able to be in a relationship like that for a long period of time because it would absolutely rip my heart apart.
Sometimes you don't even realize you're in a relationship with like that. That's the worst part. Are you in a casual relationship right now, Vivi?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's always good to be self-aware. Moving away from songs that are leading into one another, surprisingly for some reason, we have Detention by Melatonin Martinez.
Here comes Melanie to ruin the flow. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Detention has a wonderful meaning behind it. Baby, start it off.
Okay. I will start this off. So basically, this is Detention by Melanie Martinez. And okay, this is not even like anything to do with the actual meaning of the song, but this is one of my favorite songs in the freaking album and of like K through 12, and I really want to learn the freaking dance. And I tried once and then I gave up. So, that's all on. Anyways, yeah, but it's kind of, I guess, how would I explain the meaning of the song? I guess it's here. You explain the meaning of the song. This is a more complicated song for me to explain. I don't know why.
The song is about essentially feeling trapped within society. It's about how you want to stand out in a good way, not a bad way. You want to be able to stand out in a unique way, but you feel trapped by societal norms that are constraining you to make you feel a certain way or act a certain way, which is why in the music video, Crybaby is behind and trapped in a glass case being viewed by spectators because she's trapped in a societal norm of how the outside people view her.
Yeah.
And this is a common thing in sociology where you begin to adapt traits to better suit what society wants and needs from its people. It's like you see, if you're in a group of 10 people and everybody else is raising their hands when they ring a bell, you by nature are going to start wanting to raise your hand when you hear that bell because everybody else is doing it and you feel like an outcast. And so detention is just about being trapped within society and wanting to change how you are. Anything, I mean, I decided to do also. Created that flow, how are you doing?
No, yeah, and that kind of like goes into like the first line of the song too. It's like, I'm not a bad guy, so don't treat me bad if I'm feeling sad, alright? Please don't be mad if I don't smile back, alright? I F up my words, don't think I'm absurd, alright? And it's kind of just like saying like yeah, you're kind of in like you mentioned, like that spectator box, and it's like, oh, like if they, because if they're expressing normal like human emotions, right? Like feeling sad, like that's normal. Or if you don't have to smile back all the time because you're not a robot. Like nobody is a robot, but yet it's like kind of seen like negatively, and you have to do something in order to be able to keep them content in a way. And I think that just kind of goes to like fan base and just like celebrities in general, as well as like with like paparazzi, or when people want to take photos with artists. I think that can be like related to the song.
To creating parasocial relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know like, well, I guess it's not even related to this artist, but I'm just gonna say it. But it's like people's, or I guess with Melanie, I know like there was like something at the beginning of like of her time, and it's like, I remember this is like one of the most like one of the more viral clips, that, but it's like these two people, a guy and a girl, were wanting to take a picture of her, and she was like, no, like don't do that, whatever. But it's like like she didn't smile back at them in a way like the song says, but like they get mad about it. They get mad because it's like, no, like you're just like meant to be, and like kind of like in the music video, it's like putting on a show, and it's like, yeah, like.
I want to take it back like to what you said about the clip of Melanie being asked for a photo. Like once again with these parasocial relationships, we see it happening with Melanie and with Britney Spears, and it's happening yet again with Chaperone. That she's essentially getting hate because people are saying like, oh, if you didn't want people taking pictures of you or following you around, then you shouldn't have signed up to be in the music industry. And it's like, no, that's just the stigma that we have created as a society, saying like, oh yeah, these are totally normal behaviors of people to stalk your favorite artist. Like that's not a normal human thing to do. Like that's just because they're famous and they make your favorite music doesn't mean you have the right to stalk and follow them, which is why. I mean, I'm happy that people are pointing out, like, oh, yes, like, Chaperone's breaking down these barriers, but it has always been a thing that has always been around. Like, people have constantly, music artists and actors have been constantly trying to break down this border of, trying to not break down this border, but create a border between fans and them, because it gets out of hand a lot. It gets really bad to the point that it sometimes causes deaths and, like, abuse, I would say. And so, like, we need to put more focus on it. And then again, like the whole chaperone thing, like she's going through so much right now, and I like recently right now at the time of the recording, she just canceled two tour dates because she needed to focus on her mental health, and people are getting mad at her saying like, if you can't perform, then you shouldn't be in this industry. And it's like she's watching care of her mental health, because we have lost a few artists to not who didn't focus on their mental health and only cared about performing, that they were overperforming themselves to the point they had to start taking pills that they eventually OD'd on. That we lost a lot of really wonderful singers and artists to it, which is why it just once again brings in the topic that we have to, as a society, not put a strain on artists to push out music, which is why I actually like it that Melanie takes that 4-year break in releasing music. One, so it gives her time to, because she knows what her constraints are, and she knows that she's not no Taylor Swift, who's able to do an Eras tour for almost, how long is it now, about a year and a half. She knows that she'd never be able to do that, and so instead she's taken time to do. She did the Portals tour, and then she took a 4-month break, and then she started the Trilogy tour, and she's doing a month break, and then she just started her European leg of the tour. And she's just taking the breaks that she knows that she needs, and she knows that the 4-year span between each album to properly do each tour is what she needs, and so I like that. Any closing statements for that one?
No, not at all. And that just kind of, then we're going to our next artist, that is called, drumroll please, Penelope Scott with the song Rat.
And that is Rat with an A with 2 dots at the top. I don't know what it's called. I just know it has an accent to it.
Ratas, like that. That's adding an extra A in it.
Rat.
Rata.
No, that's RATA.
Oh, well,
That's
Rata.
Rat. That's Rat.
Yeah.
Okay, why are we just going to check on the pronunciation?
Okay, I have no clue. Okay. Anyways, do you want to explain the song?
You can start this one off. I started the other one off.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna try my best here. If I frick up,
Rat is a little bit of a harder song to.
If I say anything wrong, please don't bash me, or do. I'll just delete your comment. No, I'm just kidding.
That's wild.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Y'all, please do it so I could just see what.
Don't hate to me, or you will be banned for life. Never.
Okay, please hate, because I need criticism.
But no, okay, maybe hate on him, but don't hate on me. I'm sensitive. I'm shy. Okay, anyways, I guess this was kind of just talking about well, what I take from the song is like looking up to things, or because I know she talks a lot about different types of people in her lyrics. She also goes from talking about different like groups of people, kind of like sciencey things, like political stuff, other things like money, net worth, and all of that. And it's kind of like that conflicting idea of looking up to someone, and yet it's like you're idolizing them at the same time, and it's like you're like, yeah, sure, you're idolizing them, and it's like there's all these things that they are like doing and things, but yeah, it's like, oh, like I looked up to you, but you do all these things that are so bad. Like I wish I could do this, but you just kind of turn around and take it back. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I kind of see where you're going with that. I kind of see where you're going with that, but I do think the song explores the topics of how we as a society have constantly idolized these higher up, like once again going back to the parasocial relationships we create with celebrities, we constantly idolize them. Like we have young kids who be like, oh yeah, I want to be like Chappelle when I grow up, or I want to be like this, I want to be the future president. Like they idolize these political figures or big figures in our modern society. Yet as they get older, like sure, we still might idolize them, but we also kind of realize some of the bad shit that they do.
That's kind of what I was trying to say, but I cannot word things properly. But that is the gist of what. So whoever
I think a good
it.
analogy like that would be how we all want to be rich, but yet we hate the rich. We idolize becoming rich, yet we hate the way the rich behave and act.
Yeah.
And so essentially, rap goes along the lines of like how we look up to people who are horrible, yet we also look down on them for being horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And that we have this, I guess, not double standard, but we have this double view on how people are. And like the song, it specifically calls out Elon Musk's and how like he has the technology to better humanity, yet he chooses to do, I'm not gonna say stupid things, but somewhat stupid things like Tesla Air, or what is it, Tesla rockets. It's like, that's not bettering humanity. Like, not the normal human person isn't gonna be able to go on a rocket. Or even Tesla, like, yeah, sure, it might not be an expensive car, but it's still up there that a lot of people can afford it. But electric cars will immensely help the environment in the long run. Yeah, no. But anything to say about that one?
Nar.
It's deep, but it's not that deep, y'all. So we can't go to this one that much.
Too deep in this one. The next song is.
Next and final song is Coffee. And well, do you know what Coffee is about? I feel like you mostly listen to Casual and Pink Pony Club. Phoebe, are you trying to tell me something?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that you should explain the song.
No, I'm just kidding, y'all. She listens to all of them. Except for Coffee and After Midnight and California and Pink Pony Club, because she doesn't like Pink Pony Club.
I've actually heard all her songs from the beginning of her career to the end. Well, not the end, but it was him.
I'm not even like the end. You think it's the end already?
No, but
I listen to all her songs too, and I really like her. I really like her After School Nights.
Yeah.
I wish those ones get more clout, but it doesn't fit the white girl, the quote unquote white girl image.
No, I just don't remember both their songs.
Y'all, she doesn't like Pink Pony Club for certain reasons.
No, I like all her songs. I suck at songs.
Okay, but moving back onto the topic, Coffee is about loving somebody and loving being around them. Yet you know that if you ever get a little effed up from either alcohol or drugs or whatever, that you confess things and you take it a step further that you want to go back from. So knowing that, you never try to do those. You try to stay away, like, oh no, I'll just do coffee instead of wine, like the song quotes and states. And it's like avoiding those certain things because you know that after you do them, that you're just going to say things and you're going to regret saying those things and you're just going to wish you never said them, which then it pushes back into, what would it be? What was the song? Kaleidoscope. Because if you don't take the coffee and you do wine, you're going to lead into a kaleidoscope. Vivi?
I honestly, so sadly guys, I don't listen to the song too much to actually know what the heck's going on in the song.
Listen to it. Y'all, I'm going to encourage you, like I'm encouraging Vivi right now, listen to Coffee and Kaleidoscope by Chaperone.
Okay, I'm listening to it right now. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll definitely listen to it after the podcast. And then maybe I'll make a comment about it later on in one of our episodes. Be like, actually, guys, I know this. But, yeah. And, let's see. I'm trying to look through the lyrics, but I think he pretty much, like, covered everything. And definitely, like, do all of that. But, yeah. And that's kind of it for this podcast. Episode 2 of the music roulette, and I know we were gonna do a few more like songs of the artist, but we kind of ran out of time, so we're cutting it close here. But yeah, so that's kind of it.
But wait, we have one surprise song here.
A surprise song?
Yeah, it was in the notes. Did you not get the memo?
No.
Okay, do you read any of the memos I send you?
No.
Oh, well, that makes sense, y'all. Anyway, surprise song. It is the one and only Olivia Rodrigo.
Sabrina Carpenter.
No, that's in part 2, girl.
Ah,
read the memos.
Ah!
But drum roll for the song.
Driver's license.
It wasn't driver's license. We didn't prepare a driver's license script.
Oh, okay. Here, again. Brutal!
Okay, it's not anything off the Sour album. We didn't prepare anything for that.
Okay. All I want.
Okay, that's before Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh. Okay, one last drum roll. It's pretty, is it pretty?
Something Vivi can relate to.
Are you calling me ugly? I just got called ugly in 10 different ways, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
10?
2. What?
2? You got called ugly in one way.
Oh, my bad.
No, you weren't even called ugly. But, closing this off, we're gonna hit it down with one Olivia Rodrigo song, and that is Pretty Isn't Pretty. We already talked about Gross from Penelope Scott, and Mrs. Potato Head from Melanie Martinez, even down to Teen Idol from Marina. And I think it's only right if we close it off with another song talking about image.
Yeah, kind of like Miss Potato Head from Melanie Martinez.
Well, I just said that. If you listen, you know what I said.
Hey, I can reiterate what you said too. Reiterate? Reiterate?
Rearrange.
Reiterate. Yeah. Okay, this is not going to turn to an English class. Just keep talking.
Anyway, so Vivi, I don't know why I keep asking you. You don't know what any of these songs talk about. Pretty Isn't Pretty is...
Yeah, I'm lost here, guys. I was forced to do this. I'm being held at gunpoint. Please send help.
Okay, stop saying that because we're going to actually send help.
Okay, I'm just joking. He's not a school okay. Anyways, I'm about to get murdered, guys. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not about to get murdered.
Pretty Isn't Pretty is essentially talking about how pretty isn't pretty anymore. Or what we think is pretty isn't pretty anymore. Like Olivia talks about in the song. Even the first line is like, bought a bunch of makeup trying to cover up my face. I started to skip lunch, stopped eating cake on birthdays. Which shows that we already see signs of trying to make one's face look better to appeal to a male society, and how starting to skip lunch, we start entering the territory of eating disorders.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, what don't you agree with?
I agree with anything that comes out of your mouth.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Okay, well, maybe not everything.
And I think, once again, the bridge is always a good place to go. I think the bridge is, and I bought all the clothes that they told me to buy. I chased some dumb ideal my whole entire life, and none of it matters, and none of it ends. You just feel like
crap over and over again.
Yeah. And I really like that because, no matter how hard you try, you'll buy all the clothes that they told you to buy. You see all these popular or quote-unquote pretty girls, what the ideology of what pretty girls looks like, and you're like, oh, if I buy those clothes, I'll feel pretty. Yeah, when you buy them and put them on, you don't feel good, and then you just go back to wearing what you always wear, and that you're chasing an ideology that you'll never obtain because we're going through when you're going through sorry, I'm phrasing words wrong, I'm tired.
It's okay. For you guys that don't know, it's actually about to be 3 a.m. We're
okay. Well, let's say that for the end closing statements.
My bad.
And that no matter how hard you chase for these standards, no matter you'd be like, okay, I'll stop when I'm at 120, and then you reach 120, but you still don't feel satisfied. So you'll be like, okay, I'll stop when I reach 110, and then you're just constantly changing the goal in mind because you're never truly going to be satisfied with what you are and with what you gain, and which is why she says none of it matters and none of it ends. You'll just feel like crap over and over again because that truly is how it feels. Because we as a society have began to put a standard on what the perfect body image looks like, or what the perfect, what would it be? The perfect person looks like. I just saw a TikTok the other day on my For You page, and it was like, the average body type for both males and females, and it was skinny, and it was 1% of the population of females, 1% of males, and it got going, and it was it just really encapsulates it. A lot of people aren't that encapsulating of what it is to be skinny, but yet so many people try to obtain that, And it's not healthy for them to try to attain that because we obviously are all different people and we all have different body types that are biological, not because we had bad eating habits or we didn't exercise. It's just natural. Vivi?
I think that was very well said. I don't have anything else to that. Once more, I know about these songs, but I don't know about them enough to be able to go into such in-depth like you.
Yeah, maybe in Musical Roulette Part 2, we can have songs like Sabrina Carpenter and
maybe
Girl in Red.
Yeah, maybe then we could get talking.
Cave Town.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is a foresight into Musical Roulette Part 2.
I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. It could be 3 years from the road.
What do you mean 3 years on the road? Girl, we're probably going to film it next month.
Oh, you're right. But stay tuned for next episodes.
Thank you.
And it is 3 in the morning here. I'm not kidding.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I guess we could touch on that topic real quick. It is currently 3...
Well, it's 2:56, but...
Okay, well, it's 4 minutes from 3 o'clock in the morning. The demon's hour. The ghosts are going to come get us.
Guys, I'm glad we're ending this podcast right now because I
Y'all going to start hearing some ghost spirits.
Yeah, you better start hearing oogie boogie in the back. The oogie.
Well, guys, that was episode 2, Musical Roulette. And thank you for staying with us in the Gossip Closet. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Have a lovely day, morning, good night, afternoon.